person is Muslim, they are welcome. If a person is Black, White, Hispanic, Portuguese, Asian, or Middle Eastern, they are all welcome. To be inclusive is to extend your love towards everyone, regardless of their race, ethnicity, lifestyle, or background. As TUSD's mission statement makes clear, all students and families in our diverse community are welcome and included here. Several of my classmates have approached me after my club meetings and told me how the club has impacted their lives. One student told me that my preaching brought them joy they hadn't experienced in years and helped them rediscover their purpose and views on life. I'm proud to have played a small role in bringing a club to campus that helps students find peace and healing. The impact the club has on a few individuals has over time had a ripple effect and become known as a place for people looking for a sense of belonging and looking for ways to change their lives for the better. In addition to leading the Pursuit Club, I am also a member of the TUSD Student Advisory Council, which is geared towards making the whole district and community more equitable. When I walked into the first meeting, I noticed students that were fresh out of elementary school and high school students with one foot out of the door into their future. The two common factors that produced great ideas at our meetings were, 1, the zeal to make the district more equitable, and 2, the pizza. I personally am motivated by the sparkling cider, but to each their own. At our meetings, we have the opportunity to meet with different leaders in TUSD, learn more about the district, and share our feedback. At our meeting in January, the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Accountability, Marjorie Betancourt, received our input for the 2025-2026 LCAP survey. Interim Superintendent, Mr. Laddig, was also there, and he listened and considered every issue and solution that was brainstormed by our TUSD participants. Our TUSD leaders respecting the student voices is the epitome of inclusivity. In closing, Henry Ford created the Ford car, but he also created the assembly line. He knew that any leader could be good, but what makes a leader great is their ability to include others in the process. If Ford didn't create the assembly line, it would take months just to make one car. Now, it only takes days. That's the power of including others. I believe that anyone can be great, just as long as they are included. Thank you.
Thank you. President Silva, members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Laddig, Cabinet members, and student representatives, it is my pleasure to introduce Abdul Rahim this evening. Abdul enrolled at THS last year, and he has thrived since then. Born in Syria and having moved to Turkey at the age of 8, Abdul brings a unique perspective shaped by his experiences in different cultures. His transition to Turlock High has been impressive, and he has quickly become an integral member of our Bulldog family. Abdul shared that he appreciates the new opportunities available to him at THS. He has expressed how much he values the respect he receives from his teachers, and in turn, he extends that same respect back to them. His positive attitude and willingness to engage with both students and staff foster a welcoming atmosphere with our school community. He also shared how grateful he is for his counselor, Mrs. Ariola, and the guidance she has given to him. Abdul is a dedicated member of our wrestling team, where he has achieved a commendable record of 4 wins and only 1 loss, despite facing an injury which cut his season short. He enjoys football, soccer, and his favorite team is Manchester United FC. During his time in Turkey, he earned the title of Under 16 Young Stars Champion in football, which is a very high honor. Abdul's most admirable qualities are his empathy and support for his peers. He was recently nominated for the Rotary Student of the Month Award for the character trait of includer, recognizing his efforts in helping new students, particularly those who speak Arabic, feel welcome and supported. His ability to assist students who are new to the U.S. demonstrates his leadership skills and his commitment to fostering an inclusive environment. Abdul is fluent in Arabic and Turkish, has a working knowledge of German, and is diligently improving his English skills, all while taking Spanish, aiming to earn his seal of biliteracy in 4 languages next year. Very impressive. He plans to attend a four-year university after graduating from high school, and he is interested in exploring the field of engineering. Tonight, he is joined by his brother Mohammed, who was a freshman at Turlock High School. Please welcome Abdul Rahim to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand and place your right hand over the phone. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Students would come forward for a photograph. And if family members want to take a photo, they're also welcome. This is where the target is. What do you want to see?
Hold on, sorry, I was on hold. Okay.
Too hard.
Okay, ready, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we get one of each of you, Mr. Silva. Timothy, you want to go first? Okay, what do you want me to call you? Okay. All right. You have to call me Fernando, actually. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Dan said to smile. See,
Anybody else want to take a Okay, but
You want to do brother? You want Mr. Silva or you want Mr. Brother?
I've never thought about it.
I would like to thank him and Abdul for his job, and also recognize Dr. Klein and Ms. Arkelian for finding this up with your students and this inspiration. Thank you. At this time, we'll have the district beliefs, vision, and mission. Ms. Amy.
You can hear me. The mission of Turlock Unified School District will deliver effective instruction in a safe, equitable, supportive environment in partnership with our families and first communities.
Let the roll call show that all trustees are here with the exception of Ms. Carlson. I'd like to have a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Jackson, seconded by Ms. Amy. Roll call vote, Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Ms. Amy.
Aye.
Ms. Martinez.
Aye.
Ms. Ramirez.
Aye.
Mr. Shields. Aye. And the board president votes aye, motion carries. At this time, Ms. Russell will handle the community donations. Or make the introduction anyway.
Good evening, President Silva, members of the Board of Trustees, Cabinet, and guests in attendance, and Dave. Tonight, I would like to recognize a generous donation of $500 from the Rotary Club of Chilliwack for the California Ivy League project. Unfortunately, I don't know if anyone from Rotary is here tonight. It'll be Dave in the picture. This donation will be used to support our 18 TUSD students who will be traveling to the East Coast April 12th through 19th to visit Ivy League universities and tour Washington, D.C., New York City, and Boston, Massachusetts. In attendance tonight, we have Riley, Timothy, and Jasleen, who are in the 2023-24 Ivy League project cohort. There you guys are, as babies. We first met these scholars their sophomore year in high school and have watched them grow into leaders. I think you saw that tonight. We are so proud of their achievements and are honored to have played a small role in their journey to college. And guess what, guys? You get to be in the picture. So come on up and we'll take the picture for you guys. Stand right there.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Actually, Instagram changed up on me. I think I'm gonna do this way now. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. All right, tonight is also my honor to accept a donation from Letters to Santa valued at $204,600 for special Santa bags packed with essentials like blankets, pajamas, school spirit sweaters, socks, toys, gift cards that were delivered to 1,364 TUSD students and siblings this holiday season. If you follow Letters to Santa charity on social media, as I do, you know that these gifts are the result of a year-long fundraising commitment that culminates in this wonderful experience for our students. We appreciate the Letters to Santa charity elves, like Betty and Romina, who are here tonight, who help make Christmas a little bit brighter every year for our students. Before I call them up, we have a short news clip to show you featuring our Wakefield principal, Maribel Romero, and we're really hoping it doesn't show ads. Really hoping. Invite Betty, Julian, and don't let those ads run. I'd now like to invite Betty Julian and Ramina Isaac Kondo up to say a few words.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. If you know me, you know that I love a microphone. I'm gonna try to talk less with my hands in the video, that I did in the video. President Silva and Superintendent Laddick, all the superintendents, staff, and board members and student members, thank you for this opportunity. Letters to Santa charity, every board member from Letters to Santa is a Turlock resident. We love Turlock, this is where our heart is. I know some of you don't live here, but you teach here, you work here, and all of you have a connection here. Stanislaus is our home, so we are a Stanislaus County nonprofit, but all of us put a lot of time and effort into ensuring that the students in Turlock are taken care of. We did reach the 2,000 mark this year. It was joyful, but it was also a lot of work. A lot of time and energy goes into being able to establish the Santa Workshop. So I just want to take this opportunity to say a few minor things. Turlock teachers, principals, and staff members are exceptional. I mean, they are the easiest people to work with in all of the schools that we work with. So it is wonderful to be able to give back to people that actually appreciate what we're doing. We don't get pushback. You know, I would like a few extra graduation tickets from the high schools, but you know, all of the schools pitch in and they are very cooperative. I do want to say that we have had some growing pains over the last year. We have grown exponentially. We need a facility. They mentioned a distribution center. We don't have a distribution center. We have the Syrian American Civic Club, and I have to wrangle them to be able to get as much as humanly possible. The fact that I'm a Syrian helps, but they don't really care that much. They want me to pay for everything, and I don't like that. My neighbors know, I'm not gonna name any names, that the deliveries to my home and the traffic on our street between August and December is out of control. We create all of the Letters to Santa silent auction items in my home. We store those, then we transport them to the Syrian Club, have the event, and then we start buying all of our stuff. And depending on the number of weeks between when I get the money and when the distribution is, we have to order all of those things. All those Amazon shipments are coming to our house. There are days that I just take off from work to be able to accept shipments. My house is loaded from the floor to the ceiling, inside and in the garage. I'm not giving you my address because I don't want any break-ins, but wouldn't it be nice, and I don't know if this is broadcasted, but wouldn't it be nice if we had a community member, somebody that owns a business, somebody that has a small storage, like a commercial space. The one that I'm thinking of is actually on the corner of, there's a unit available off Tuolumne, right where Tuolumne and where is Walnut? On Tuolumne and Walnut. Like you pass the there's like a, right by Humphreys Plumbing. There's a place where they have a garage in the back and kind of storage unit, but in the front is a store. And my dream is to have Letters to Santa year round. So when these teachers have students that come as refugees, or have students that are living in their cars, or have students that don't have shoes to go to school, or don't have jackets in the winter, that they have a place where they can go and they don't have to dip into their own pockets, and they can go somewhere where we have supplies for them year round. That would be my dream. But my mini dream is to have a place where I don't have to have everyone at my house for 6 months, and we can make these baskets and create all of Santa there. So if you know people in the community, if anyone is listening to this broadcast, we would love for somebody to help us out with that and provide some kind of distribution center or a place where we can work and all year long so that we can plan for this. We need to streamline. We may make some changes in the future. We just want to give you guys a heads up, but it's gotten to the point where we are at capacity and volunteers don't want to do this all year long without a place to be able to accomplish it. But so many blessings. We appreciate your support. Is there anything else I was supposed to say? Oh, yes. In addition to the money that we've raised, that we were able to give back to Turlock in Santa bags, we also raised, if you were at the event, and most of you were, which thank you, because buying tables and coming to the event is so essential for us. But thank you for being there. I know many of you were there, and a lot of the principals were there as well. We had over 3 tables for Turlock Unified School District encompassing board members, staff members, and teachers. We also had the Turlock Teachers Union, yes, who supported us at the event. What was I gonna say? The high school. Sorry, I told her she should talk today because I talk too much. But so we did a live auction for Sober Grad Night, and some of you may have caught on to that, but we raised $14,000 for Turlock and Pittman High for Sober Grad Night and slash clubs. So at Pittman High, we've already started a Letters to Santa club. Our nonprofit donated money to get them started, and they're already started this year. My kids go there, so they just had that benefit and advantage, and the teacher came to me and they started it. So all of the $7,000 for Pittman will go to their Sober Grad Night. Thank God, because I'm the Sober Grad Night president, so I needed that. And then for Turlock High, we're gonna take their $7,000, and we announced this at the event. Part of it will be to start their Letters to Santa club on campus, and the rest will go to their Sober Grad Night. They actually get to have their concession stands at football games, and so they're raising lots of money. So I need more money for Pittman, okay? I'm not complaining. But these kids will now have an opportunity to also have an outlet to be able to volunteer and give back to the community. So the clubs on campus will instill the same thing that we are trying to do out in the community. We do this, and I said this last year as well, we're hoping that our children and our friends' children and children in the community will see what we're doing, and it'll be absorbed just a little bit. I know my kids don't listen to me. I'm hoping that they can watch and see and grow and learn from what we're doing. So this is a labor of love. We love Turlock, and we hope you guys support us forever. I'm sorry if we talk too much, and thank you for your patience.
The bags are all, sorry. We gave them all away.
While Ms. Russell is taking photos, I'd like to thank Ms. Julian for all of your fine work and effort on this activity. This is fantastic. Thank you. If I could have a motion to accept this donation, these donations.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Ramirez, seconded by Ms. Jackson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Board President votes aye. Motion carries. Again, I want to thank the community for their fine support. These are fantastic ideas. Next is a presentation. It's going to be introduced by Dr. Klein.
Good evening again. At this point, I'm here to introduce 2 teachers, Erin King and Jennifer Cullen. They'll be presenting information about Turlock High. I do want to let the board know and the community know that I'm honored to be the principal there. This is my second year. There. I enjoy that. I enjoy working there tremendously. Once again, to serve the community in this manner. At this point, I want to reintroduce Mr. Aaron King and Jen Cullen, who will be presenting tonight. Thank you.
So assuming that Mr. Klein does all of our staff meetings, he plays music for a little bit. I gotta wait, sorry, it's a long intro. Oh, I don't see our red.
She's not here, you're okay.
But, we'll just say, we'll go fast forward. So, this is Green Emotion by Aerosmith. This is Mr. Klein's favorite song, right?
Yes, it is.
And why is it your favorite song, Mr. Klein?
There was when Jill and I used to dance, that was a song that we really enjoyed dancing to.
Okay, so now we'll go to start. Just so you know, that was Tiffany's idea. So I'm just going to throw that one out there. Good evening, esteemed members of the board, fellow educators, students, and guests. I'm Aaron King, I'm a math teacher at Charlotte High School, as well as the head varsity flag football coach.
I'm Jen Kellogg, and I teach at CHS also. I'm ASB advisor, I teach dance, I coach the cheer team, and together, we are excited to share some highlights from our year so far.
So this year, our campus has been a hub of activity with over 80 clubs engaging students in diverse interests from technology to the arts. This wide array of clubs underlines our commitment to student involvement and leadership development.
We've also welcomed new talent into our Bulldog family with 15 new teachers and 12 classified staff members. Their energy has brought fresh ideas and enthusiasm to our classroom.
In athletics, we've been substantial growth. We've had 4 new head coaches of programs and the introduction of a new sports program, which gave us an addition of 60 athletes to our fall sports lineup. The expansion not only diversifies our athletic offerings, but also provides more students the opportunity to shine.
Our specialized programs, like FFA with 794 students, NJROTC with 90 participants, continue to thrive. The drama department has 140 active members, and ASE has 96 students, fueling school spirit and spreading leadership.
And academically, we're proud to announce that this fall semester, we had 430 students make the honor roll with GPA between 3.0 and 3.49. An outstanding 975 students achieved the principal's honor roll with GPAs of 3.5 and above.
Turning to our leadership, our principal has truly knocked our socks off.
Here, Dick.
His initiative of bringing SOC staff members to make a significant impact on our campus has been both inspiring and motivating. It's a reflection of the supportive and appreciative culture he fosters. As we celebrate these achievements and the vibrant spirit of our school, we also look to the future. We ask ourselves and all of you, how can we further enhance our programs to ensure every student not only succeeds, but thrives in this ever-changing world? Your insights and suggestions are invaluable as we continue to foster a nurturing and dynamic learning environment.
As we look to the future, we are inspired by the achievements of our students and the dedication of our staff. We continue to strive for excellence in every endeavor and appreciate that support.
Thank you all for your commitment to our school. Together we are and will always be Bulldog strong.
That's a video.
Ms. Cullen, Mr. King, and Dr. Klein for an excellent presentation, information about Turlock High School. This time, the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you, President Silva. I just want to start by saying I went to the Dutcher musical on Friday night. Holy smokes! I think I saw quite a number of staff members there, or members of the TUSD community. If you get anybody here have a child or in that production? No. One.
Well, she was in crew, but it counts.
It absolutely counts. I'm always impressed by the talent that we don't see when we get to walk classrooms. Just kids in a different light, and I'm just so impressed by the talent we saw on Friday night on the Matilda musical. Just, I mean, the headsets and running around and singing. It's like I don't know, just never something I've never seen at that level before. Super impressive of our kids, and Mrs. Paul and Mr. Stone did an incredible job with those kids. So super impressed by the talent at Dutcher Middle School in Matilda. As one of our student speakers here tonight, Timothy mentioned, Angelica Cardenas Ayala and Marjorie and I got to meet with the TUSD Student Equity Advisory last week. Marjorie provided an overview of the local control accountability plan process, and really kind of educated the students on how the resources are allocated to support equitable outcomes. Just it'd be an awesome opportunity. And Angelica and I spent a lot of time in our student scholar senates around the district, and we'll be starting our second semester rounds of those. But this was a kind of a across the district group who it was interesting to see that a lot of similarities across their sites, some of the things that they're asking for. I just thought to share a little bit of some of the feedback that we got. They asked for increasing academic, college, and career guidance to assist more with course planning and navigating post-secondary processes. They also asked for designated mental health support for high schoolers to address issues like anxiety or challenges at home. In general, they asked for more personalized learning experiences. This was an interesting one. They said playgrounds at the high school level. Playgrounds at the high school level. And then they kind of backtracked a little, kind of more like that equipment, like if we need to get some energy out, like, you know, maybe that circuit training stuff you see at parks, maybe. But they thought, you know, we need to find that inner kid again. So they were asking for some sort of playground type equipment at the high school levels. Better scheduling of clubs and sports meetings so that they could have some time to eat lunch and also be able to participate. Clubs are huge for our kids right now. We're hearing that across our scholar senates. They really find value in that sense of belonging in those common interests in clubs. They asked for a creation of makerspace for 3D printing and other creative activities. And then they asked for the addition of more water stations around campus. So again, this was kind of a cross sampling of students, mostly our secondary students in this advisory. So very educational. We're using that as part of our LCAP planning. Additionally, Barney and Leslie Swisher, our Director of Facilities Planning and Safety, attended the 2025 School Safety Conference hosted by Knowledge Saves Lives, which is focused on proactively identifying and mitigating potential active threat situations on campus. Valuable and thought-provoking information was provided and received. As a side note, KSL shared photos and description of TUSD's emergency equipment stations throughout the district. This is something we're going to be hearing more about here in the coming months. The CD recently posted an approved list of screeners for risk of reading difficulties, including dyslexia. We have a group in our Ed Services team reviewing those screeners currently. We're going to be gathering more input and asking the board to approve a screener for our district to use in the 25-26 school year. It sounds like that's going to be ready for the board to review and approve in June of this school year. The TUSD Family Resource Center served nearly 150 families at our drive-through distribution in those last week over at Dutcher Middle School. Thank you to former board member Daniel Bennett and current board member Debbie Martinez for supporting this effort. And Marie's Department, TUSD Communications, is currently supporting 3 efforts in TUSD, including our kindergarten registration, festival on the green, and the LCAP survey. And that concludes my report. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Leidig. At this time, we have student reports. Turlock High School, Ms. Vargas.
Good evening, Interim Superintendent Leidig, President Silva, and members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to share the events and accomplishments happening at Turlock High School. ASB is busy with our Winter Spirit Week. We have some fun dress-up days planned. Today was No Mirror Tuesday, and students wore mismatched clothes. Tomorrow is Dynamic Duo Day, Thursday is Anything But a Backpack Day, and Friday we will wear blue and gold for a Winter Spirit Rally. In our rally on Friday, we will introduce all of our Winter Royalty nominees. We have 32 pairs of nominees representing clubs and fall or winter sports. This Saturday, we will have our Winter Formal at Lorsa Hall. Our Winter Formal theme is Winter Wonderland. The software class has been working hard to organize this amazing event. We will also have our second annual Renaissance Cookout next Friday, January 31st, as well as our second semester Club Rush. Saturday, the cheer team will be volunteering at the Be Positive Run, helping to decorate the stadium. THS and JROTC academic team traveled to Fresno last week and took first place in the tournament against 4 other schools. The Bulldog Company would like to invite all TUSD staff and the Board of Trustees to the annual military inspection next Thursday, January 30th. Speech and Debate will be traveling to Ripon on Saturday for their 5th tournament of the season. Good luck to them. Auditions for the spring show, The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical, will be held all this week. We are looking forward to a great turnout and an awesome show in April. Next week, Prop Joe Carr, Sachin Chakravarti, and Kate Williams will compete for the noon Rotary Speech Competition. The winner will move on to the area competition. Just before winter break, HOSA, in collaboration with HYLC, demonstrated incredible teamwork in organizing a blanket drive. It was heartwarming to see our students contribute to the well-being of our community during the holiday season. Additionally, HOSA has been raising awareness for infant health by distributing pink and light blue ribbons around campus, promoting the importance of infant health and encouraging everyone to show their support. We're also excited to announce that the UC Merced Community Health Worker Cohort 1 and EMT Cohort 2 have officially begun this month. These programs are providing our students with opportunities to gain hands-on experience and explore future career pathways in the healthcare field. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Sarah Galvin, our HOSA president, and Life Scout with Troop 2451. Sarah's Eagle Scout Service Project, which involves renovating the athletic training room, is a true testament to her leadership and commitment to leaving Turlock High School better than she found it. This project will benefit over 700 athletes at our school, and we are incredibly grateful for the community support in making this a reality. The renovation is nearing completion, and we're excited to see the finished results this month. Lastly, our students are preparing for the upcoming HOSA State Leadership Conference in March. We have 22 students registered for this event, where they will compete in various healthcare-related challenges. Tomorrow, our boys basketball team will be facing crosstown rival Pittman High at 7:30 p.m. Good luck to our boys. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and represent Turlock High School.
Thank you, Ms. Vargas. Ms. Rice, Pittman High School.
Good evening, Interim Superintendent Leidig, Board President Silva, and members of the board. Here's what's new at the Pride. Hoops Coming nominees have been announced, and our awesome ASB team is busy planning the week of fun events, including dress-up days, lunch activities, a slam dunk contest, rally, tailgate party, and winter forming. It is a week that we celebrate all of our clubs and sports on campus, as we have nearly 70 nominees. The dress-up days are as follows. Monday is Dress Up As Your Type, Tuesday is Barbecue Dad versus Soccer Mom, Wednesday is Anything But a Backpack, Thursday is Teacher-Student Swap, and lastly, Friday is Jersey Day. ASB also recently helped Mr. Walker collect campus-wide donations to be sent down south to help victims of the Los Angeles fires. In the College and Career Office, there have been several FAFSA workshops, or Psych College application workshops, and scholarship support pride times for seniors to prepare for their next steps. iReady testing has continued for 9th and 11th graders, while senior presentations include resume building and scholarship applications. Our AP teachers have been meeting with department chairs, updating courses being offered for the 2025-26 school year, and preparing for ballot week in February. CSU A period Introduction to Cultural Anthropology starts next week with Stan State. having 16 students currently enrolled in the course. The journalism class has been hard at work writing articles for the Roaring Times. Currently, students are working on the next printed newspaper scheduled for distribution next week. The newspaper is student-run and produced, and the students take great pride in this. Reprographics, the stand print at CSU Stanislaus, prints the newspaper. PHS is hosting its movie night tomorrow night and its Chinese culture night next Wednesday. Students MEE and Mia Frank will be including a presentation about general culture, followed by possible karaoke and cultural snacks. CLA members and officers are preparing for their February convention at PHS. They recently also held their Rotary Speech Contest, where Madiha Haderi placed first, Jeanette Bright T. Gonzalez placed second, and Nadia Haderi placed third. To help fund for their hardworking members going to the State Leadership Conference, HOSA is having a fundraiser on February 1st from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Chipotle. This Thursday, HOSA will be hosting an awareness meeting for human trafficking awareness. FFA is ending off the month with their community service event, collecting socks to be donated to the homeless shelters of San Jose. The club is also looking forward to a jam-packed month of February as we spark the start of both leadership development competition events as well as career development competition events. Next Wednesday, Sober Grad Night is holding a meeting in the library at 7 p.m. to go over new additions to what will be offered that night for seniors, as well as gaining more support from the community, parents, and students to help the event run as smoothly and efficiently as possible. The Men's Safe Club will be hosting another Adopt a Park event at Crane Park this Saturday at 9 a.m. The members will be able to help clean up the park and surrounding areas in efforts of making our community cleaner for students who use them. The winter sports season is fully in effect as Pittman Athletics has started league play in all of the winter sports. Wrestling hosted a tri-meet against Roy and Modesto, and all levels came away with dominant victories. The varsity boys wrestling team went to SoCal last weekend to compete in the 5 counties meet. Carter Van Nest and Mason Ontiveros won individual championships, and the team placed 6th out of 96 schools competing. Carter, a junior, is currently ranked 22nd in the nation, and Mason, also a junior, is ranked 20th in the nation in their respective weight classes, and both have committed to wrestle at the University of Oklahoma. Boys soccer is 2-1 after 4 league games, and girls soccer is 1-1 in league play. Boys and girls basketball both are 2-0 in league play with wins over Modesto and Downey last week. This is a busy week for the Pride with a home game tonight versus Turlock girls basketball and versus Modesto girls soccer. Boys basketball plays at Turlock tomorrow, and both boys and girls soccer play Turlock on Thursday. Come out and watch some exciting sports this week and support our hardworking players. This concludes my student report for the evening. Thank you, and roll call.
Thank you, Ms. Rice. Excellent reports from both of you. This time, announcements. Our next meeting is Tuesday, February 4th, here in this facility. Next, consent calendar. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Yes, I would like item O open for discussion.
Is there any discussion on item O? It's O, item 15. Any questions, comments? Go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring up that the partnership that we have that Turlock Union School District has with the city is a pilot program. Is that correct? That's what I was reading, that it was a pilot program and that it will not cost the district any money, but it's $0. It is effective dates from January 14th, 2025 to May 30th, 2025. And that it's not affecting our current employees in any way, nor will it give any adverse effect to any of our employees. So it's just a partnership that we have with the city, and it's not costing the district any money.
Yeah, so this is a contract to provide structured play opportunities at Lakewood Elementary School in partnership with Turlock Sports Department. They are also contracted through the city to assist in our after school, our ELO program, which we are contracted through the city for. They are not charging Wakefield any amount for this service. Wakefield just is looking to run this kind of as a pilot program. They're willing to help out free of charge as the contract does stay there. We do think that it's going to have a positive impact on the staff at Wakefield, as it's going to provide more structured play opportunities and fewer behavior problems that arise out of some of those unstructured moments that Wakefield's experiencing during their lunchtime.
Okay, I was just confused because it said between Wakefield Elementary and Turlock Sports Park after school program, and then the contract read lunchtime activities, so I just wanted to.
Yeah, we can take a look. It's because Turlock Sports Park is already part of the after school program with the ELO through the city. They just carried over, I guess you could say. You probably shouldn't say after school, but because they are part of the after school program, they're extending that into the lunch period. If that makes sense.
I just wanted that clarification for the public.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Maris, any other questions or comments from the board? From the public? I have a motion to accept consent calendar.
So moved.
I second.
Moved by Ms. Jackson, seconded by Ms. Ramirez. I'm looking at you, and I'm saying her name, I'm sorry. You got a few more years to catch up with my brain power, but anyway, so here we go. It was moved by Ms. Jackson, seconded by Ms. Martinez. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Jackson? Mr. Amy?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Shields?
Aye.
Board member votes aye. Consent calendar motion passes. Next item is educational service. The information item 18, and
Good evening, Board President, Silva, Board members David, and Executive Cabinet. This evening, I am presenting the district's two-way bilingual immersion framework. This evening's presentation is an information item, and I will bring the framework to the next board meeting, February 4th, for board approval. So it will be presented in two parts. High quality and key criteria that define a two-way bilingual immersion or dual language immersion program are, I'd like to highlight a few. Programs use two languages, use of English and a partner language, often Spanish, for literacy and content instruction for all students. Programs include a linguistic balance of fairly equal number of students. They can either be in an equal distribution of native Spanish speakers, native English speakers, and bilingual students, or a linguistic balance of native English speakers and English learners. A key area is students needing models of language in the program, and a balanced composition provides an enriched learning environment where all students can support each other's language acquisition in the two languages. In programs over the course of the primary grades, the percentage of the instruction in the minority language decreases while the percentage of instruction in English gradually increases. And another key defining in a program is separation of language is key. Teachers use one language of instruction at a time, allowing students to fully immerse in each language separately, and probably at the top of the list as programs are based on research. There are different types of models of two-way bilingual or dual language immersion programs, and they are based on the percentage of instructional time in each language. Osborne Two-Way Immersion Academy is school-wide and a 90-10 model, meaning the target language, Spanish, is used in TK, kinder, and first grade 90% of the instructional time, and English is used 10% of the time. Wakefield Elementary is an 80-20 model, meaning the language Spanish is used in TK, kinder, and first grade 80% of the instructional time, and English is used 20% of the time. And 2 reasons for Wakefield implementing an 80-20. 2 reasons. 1, in an 80-20 model, the primary goal is to ensure strong proficiency in the minority language while still providing sufficient exposure in the dominant language. And in our case, it would be English, particularly in situations where one language is significantly more prevalent in the community, which allows students to develop balanced bilingual ability over time. Second, Wakefield has an extended TKK day, and an extended day offering supports the 80-20 model. At Dutcher Middle School, each grade level has a minimum of 2 courses at the target language, Spanish. The courses are Spanish Language Arts and Core History in Spanish. And this ensures students get consistent exposure and practice in Spanish throughout their middle school years. Slide 6 is a visual representation of TUSD's two-way bilingual immersion educational pathway. If you hear folks or parents in the community or other members outside of our community talk about our dual language immersion program, if you just show them this slide, they'll go, oh, it makes sense. Our pathway starts in TKK in Osborne or Wakefield, where students are immersed in learning their native language and Spanish simultaneously. Then they attend Dutcher Middle School, and then they move and continue through our high schools, either at Pittman High School or Turlock High School, with the goal of students earning the state seal of biliteracy and students achieving and demonstrating fluency and literacy in 2 languages and becoming bilingual, biliterate. I have the principals here from our dual language immersion school, and I've asked them to say a few words. So I'd like to start with Mr. Garcia, Osborne.
Good evening, Juan Garcia, principal at Osborne. So the two-way immersion program began back in 1991 when founding teachers got together and started researching two-way immersion bilingual for a transitional bilingual program that was in at the time at Osborne. They went towards moving from researching it to researching how it would benefit the students here, primarily English learners. And then it was approved by the board in 1992. So the first Osborne implemented 90-10 two-way immersion model was done in 1993-94. That's where it all started. And as far as the framework is concerned, besides myself, a good number of team members from Osborne were present. Some of the key items that they wanted to make sure were in place were the milestone awards that or commendations that would be presented to the students as they were going through the program. And other items were to ensure that the model itself was sustained, a 90-10 model there at Osborne. And also to continue support for the pathways as our students move on through the middle school and through the high school. Thank you.
Maribel Romero.
Good evening, my name is Maribel Romero and I'm the principal at Wakefield Elementary. Our program started in the 2016-2017 year because there was interest in the immersion program and Osborne was at capacity. And TUSD was looking at enrichment opportunities for Wakefield, so we surveyed the community, and there was an interest to bring the program. I think that working on the framework has been a great opportunity for all of the immersion sites to collaborate. Although we do have consistency, it was nice to come together and not only just reflect, but also value the work that has been done in our program. We have a lot of new staff members and changes in administration, so some of the highlights that our teachers shared was reflecting on research-based practices for bilingual education and reflecting our guiding principles and our mission for the program. I personally found the most value in connecting with some of the founding teachers of the program. We were able to meet, and it was nice to hear their perspective and the why of bringing the program, and also the opportunity to set goals to continue to improve our program.
And Mr. Ruiz, Dutcher Middle School.
Good evening, I'm Robert Reese, principal of Dutcher Middle School. Dutcher Middle School received their first class of the two-way bilingual immersion program in 2001. We do follow the 30-70 model with Spanish instruction in both Spanish language arts and our social science classes. In regard to our recent work with the program framework, our teachers were excited about the collaboration across the sites, updating the criteria for the certificate of biliteracy, and reviewing our language assessments and curriculum. They also look forward to the ongoing teamwork with Osborne, Wakefield, Turlock, and Pittman High School. Thank you.
And Mrs. Freeman, Pittman High School.
Good evening, Angela Freeman, the principal of Pittman High School. It has really been kind of a great honor and just a neat process for our high school teachers to be part of this dual language task force. And so Oscar Mercado, he's an AP Spanish teacher at Pittman. He was just really excited to be part of creating the mission and the vision and then seeing what it looks like from TK all the way up through high school. That pathway is just a really great complete pathway. And so I'd like to share with the board at our high school, at Pittman High School, last year we had 39 students who earned their state seal of biliteracy. And so that's what Alice was talking about, where you are fluent in 2 languages or more. Just like we heard with our Turlock High students looking at 4 languages, I believe, probably. 31 of those students earned the state seal in Spanish, 2 in Portuguese, 1 in Arabic, 3 in Assyrian, 1 in Punjabi, and 1 in Mandarin. And so if you guys have an opportunity to go to the State Seal of Biliteracy Awards banquet that they have at the Fruit Yard Amphitheater, it is just it's really just a heartwarming kind of program to really see the hard work of our students throughout Stanislaus County, but also our students at TUSD.
And Mr. Klein.
Good evening. At our high schools, we are proud to offer 3 courses that enhance our bilingual program. We have AP Spanish Literature at both high schools, AP Spanish Language, and Spanish for Spanish speakers. These courses provide rigorous academic challenges while fostering the love for Spanish language and culture. At Turlock High in 23-24, we had 59 seals of bilingual proficiency, 58 in Spanish, 1 in Assyrian. Thanks to the combined efforts of Turlock High and Pittman High, we've celebrated the remarkable achievement of 306 students over the course of 3 years with the seal of biliteracy. This accomplishment is testament to our commitment to bilingual education and the bright futures of our students. We believe that language is a bridge to understanding and opportunity. Our continued investment in the two-way bilingual program not only enriches our students' educational experiences, but also strengthens our community. Thank you.
Thank you, site principals. Slide 7, bless you, highlights the district state seal of biliteracy data. So this is over 3 years. And so over the 3-year period, our district average is approximately 104 students earning the state seal of biliteracy. Quite an accomplishment. Two-way bilingual immersion and dual language immersion programs are rigorous. They require students to simultaneously learn academic content while developing proficiency in 2 languages. And they are also intellectually challenging because they require and demand a high level of cognitive engagement. Our purpose for developing the framework, we wanted to ensure our program is based on research. 2, we wanted to provide clarity in regards to policies. We were, I know when I started in the director position of English Learners Assessment and Special Programs, we started to see an increase and get an increase of parent questions or teacher questions, or even when we hired new teachers, what curriculum, what percentage is English? Is this when I teach it in English or Spanish? So just providing that clarity on policies. And also what is key, as I mentioned earlier on defining dual language immersion program, is that key of maintaining a linguistic balance of language models so our students in the program we can support their language acquisition learning 2 languages. The task force was a 20-member team and included representation from the district in each of our dual language immersion school sites, the site principals, teachers. We've got a few of the teachers here in the audience, so I would like to just recognize them, and if you don't mind, please standing. Your work was outstanding, your experience and what you added to this task force was very important. We also had classified staff and we had a parent, and our parent that was on the task force, she has children at Osborne, Dutcher Middle School, and at one of our high schools, and she's very involved in our district English Learner Advisory Committee. The district contracted with the Association Two-Way Dual Language Education for leading and developing our two-way bilingual immersion framework. Our consultant was the executive director, Kevin Chavez, and the reason for selecting the association is because they are and have been a leading organization in two-way bilingual immersion education, and they've been recognized as a national organization since 2013. The timeline of our work included the time period from 2012 through 2024, where various committees met off and on again. But when they met during this time, they documented key practices that align to the research of the guiding principles of dual language immersion. And it included 4 full days. So if there was a district that kind of started this work from ground zero, which I had been, my experience has been a part of that, it might take 1.5 years to 2 years to develop a framework, getting input, including various stakeholders. But because of that prior work in 2012 through 2024, where committees met off and on again, they were documenting their work, it was research-based, that helped us go, we want to recognize the past. There were some good things that were done and documented and aligned to research that gave us a good start on the work that we did this year. So the 4 full days getting input from site administrators and members of the task force served as well in designing the draft framework that you have in front of you. Slide 12 lists the table of contents for the framework. I'll speak briefly to a few of the chapters I'd like to highlight. Chapter 1, District Mission and Vision. Our two-way bilingual immersion program aligns with our district and mission vision statement, and that we believe students will be successful in acquiring proficiency in 2 languages, meet bilingual biliteracy achievements along the way, as Mr. Garcia had mentioned in our educational pathway, earn the state seal of biliteracy to be able to contribute and compete in an ever-changing global society. Chapter 4, the research on two-way bilingual immersion. All of our conversations, the subcommittees, even our consultant, we always refer back to what does the research say that makes a quality and meaningful program. Chapter 8, two-way bilingual immersion program policies, as I stated. This chapter outlines policies. It also defines entry, intervention, exit, and late entry policies for our program that maybe we didn't have some consistency amongst the schools, or as students when they went through our educational pathway were clear for us as a staff to respond to parent questions and to clarity for our parents' children in the program. Also, the lottery process that is in your draft, in fact, we started that process today with site principals. We're going to be updating that and including it in board policy. At that time, when we bring the next board policy update, we will bring that back to ensure all of our lottery processes for our schools that have POD, GATE, our dual language immersion, our program at Walnut, so that there will be consistency. Next steps. The framework has been long awaited and anticipated. So our next steps include if there's any edits or any updates that we need to add or clarify any sections of the framework. We want to continue to monitor the two-way bilingual immersion framework, so it's not like a one and done. but it should be a living and breathing document that supports our current staff and administrators, our current families and their children that are enrolled, and new hires that get hired to work in our dual language immersion program. And ongoing monitoring and evaluation of ensuring that linguistic balance of language models for our classrooms. And with that, can I answer any questions?
Are there any questions from the board? Ms. Martinez?
Wonderful presentation, Alice. Thank you for the information. My question is, are we tailoring the program to meet our special ed children, especially the TK ones, the little ones?
I'm going to say yes, and why? Because our program is inclusive of all students, not only English learners, but GATE students, students with disabilities. So I'm going to say yes, all of our programs are inclusive, where our students have an opportunity to access that program. One key thing that we outline in Chapter A is with any student in TUSD is monitoring students if they're not being successful, providing that targeted tier support, whether it's at Tier 1 in the classroom, Tier 2 with maybe reading specialist or an intervention, and targeted Tier 3 support.
Thank you.
Ms. Amy?
I just wanted to make a comment. I always thought that the dual immersion was just Spanish, but now I'm finding out that you have Portuguese, Arabic, Assyrian, along with Spanish. I think that's absolutely incredible. It's very good.
And I like to clarify, so our dual language immersion program in the district is English and Spanish. We've identified Spanish, but for the state syllabi literacy, students can apply for other target languages, those languages that Mrs. Freeman mentioned.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Ms. Amy?
I just wanted to ask, because you said that Osborne is at capacity, so you created Wakefield, do you have plans to move to other elementary schools as well to incorporate the two-way bilingual program?
At this time, no. One of the key things that came out of this work is ensuring that our classrooms are balanced linguistically. When the task force reviewed data, we do have some classrooms where in them are a majority native English speakers, where if there aren't those models going through our program, we just want to ensure that we set them up for success with ensuring that balance of language models to support the language acquisition of learning Spanish as well.
Ms. Jackson?
Why did it, I guess my question is, I didn't know Wakefield was 80-20, and you guys didn't, I forgot about that. But what was that, does it really matter because we're using the same model from San Jose, correct? Like the 90-10?
Well, what's key in, hold on just a second here, one of our chapters is outlining the language allocation. So the end goal is that our students meet the proficiency requirements for English and Spanish, then moving on to Dutcher Middle School. So in our framework, we outline which subjects are in English and Spanish. So by the time they leave Wakefield and Osborne, we end up at a 50-50.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Because like Series does, they go 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, to me, it doesn't seem like the students are gaining as fast as if they do 90-10. Yes, from my experience. And I was trying to do the math. It looks like we have at least half of the students are getting their seal by literacy. If you look at this, how much a class size would be, even with the 90.
I'm gonna say about a little less than half.
That's what I was looking at.
And then I also just like to share students earning their seal. We have quite a few, I don't have the numbers here, but that is information that I can get you. Students, you heard one of our student speakers this evening. He's enrolled, he's been in our district, approximately 2 years, but he has learned English to be proficient, but as well as his native language to apply and earn the state seal of biliteracy. So not only do we have students that go through our educational pathway and earn the seal, but also students because their native language is another language. Could be Spanish or another language.
Well, I think it's also it's welcome news, at least for myself as a parent, that they're still, despite the issues we've had with the pandemic, they're still able to pass these tests. I think we're doing it. I mean, to me, it's kudos to our staff.
Yeah.
And our students and their families. So, most of you probably know I'm a huge believer of this. So, thank you. I appreciate this. I'm gonna take this and look more. I have more questions. Thank you.
Mr. Shields?
So I guess for context, how many students are applying to get into this? Like what's I know there's a lottery system, right, to get into the program. On average, how many students are trying to get into the program?
I'm gonna let this Barney or the site principal speak to that. I know we currently have our TKK enrollment. They can speak to like currently how many TK Kinder classes. I know at Osborne, I'm gonna just roughly I think it's 9 total, TK and Kinder, and then at Wakefield. Yes.
Gotcha, okay. That's individual students or classes? Classes, okay.
And we do generally carry a waiting list, especially at Osborne, so even though we fill the capacity, there's still additional requests for the class. We hope and encourage them to go over to Wakefield to really work the program over there, if they can.
Gotcha. And then part of my question is when we're looking at this, like you kind of mentioned it a little bit, having classes that are, what's the breakdown of native Spanish speakers compared to native English speakers, and how do we come to that conclusion of what balance do we need in the classroom to make it a successful program for each individual?
Yeah, we currently, it hasn't been required, but we did outline it in our framework. We currently have a language assessment that helps us assess the balance of, because you can have an English learner who is bilingual, but you can also have an English learner, they're really more of a true native Spanish speaker. So it's important, that language assessment is important to have that balance in the classrooms. So we use a language assessment, and as I said, when we looked at data, at each of our schools, we probably had a class at each grade level where there wasn't that balance, and so the more of a need from in our discussions as a task force was to have a language assessment required to ensure that linguistic balance.
Yeah, I guess coming from a parent's point of view, when I'm thinking about the program, right, I'm trying to think of, okay, would my child even qualify, right? Like, is it a good decision to have my child in a program like that? And I know, like probably most parents, having a child that be bilingual would be amazing, right? The opportunities, the doors that open up, it's huge. It's not just a benefit in life, just going through daily life, but job and career opportunities to be able to be bilingual is massive. So I can see from somebody who's not a bilingual person, getting my child into a program like that would be amazing. So that's why I asked a little bit about what does that look like when we're talking about how many people want to get their kids in the program, and then how many are we actually getting through, right? Because obviously it's a great program. I mean, just growing up in the district, it's something that I've consistently heard about from people outside of our district who comment about the dual immersion program and success here in Turlock and how they would love to have their children in it. So just a little bit of kudos there to you guys as well, but just thank you so much.
Questions or comments from the board, from the public? I just would like to thank the teachers and their input and all the efforts from the principals. And Ms. Solis, thank you for a fine report here tonight. Thank you for the information.
Next, under Human Resources is item 19, an action item. Mr. Reno.
Yes, good evening, President Silva, Board of Trustees, Interim Superintendent Ladding, members of Cabinet, colleagues, and guests. I'm pleased to share the district and TTA reached a tentative agreement on December 12th for the 24-25 reopener negotiations. The tentative agreement was reached at the 5th negotiation session between the parties. Subsequently, TTA membership voted and approved the tentative agreement on January 13th. At this time, I'd like to invite the lead negotiator, Jennifer Collins, who's here as well. At this time, the district would like to publicly acknowledge TTA for their collaborative efforts, constructive discourse, and most importantly, for a willingness to find common ground on relevant and pertinent issues. Jennifer Collins, TTA lead negotiator, and members of her team are to be commended for their time and their efforts during this process. As the lead negotiator, I'm fortunate to have an excellent team of district administrators who bring a level of expertise and support to the table. Without their assistance, the process would be a challenge. That said, I would like to take the opportunity to recognize the district's team who gave up valuable time away from their departments and their sites to commit to this process. They don't have to stand up. I just do want to acknowledge them. Margie Betancourt, Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Accountability. Joseph Silvera, Director of Human Resources. Erica Schatz, Director of Special Education. Angela Freeman, Principal Pittman High School. Anna Ellerson, Principal Cunningham Elementary School. And Cheryl Crawford, who is a substitute administrative assistant for my assistant who's currently out. And I'm going to give an opportunity for Jennifer to say a couple of words about the process as well.
On the same line, I just want to thank the members of our TTA team who also gave up time out of the classroom, so doing sub-plans and et cetera, to be part of this process. On our team this year is Erin King, Monica Cook, Carrie King, not related by the way, Araceli Milan, and Chrissy Cochran. Two of our members are brand new this year to the team, so it was very interesting for them to see the process and go through the step with us.
The parties reached agreement on the following articles. Article 1, agreement. Article 4, hours of work. Article 5, salaries and benefits. Article 7, transfer, assignment, and reassignment. Article 9, evaluation. Article 18, work year calendar. And Article 21, special education. That said, it's recommended the Board of Trustees approve the amendments to the tentative agreement for the 24-25 reopener negotiations between TTA and the district, including salary schedules and stipend table, effective July 1, 2024. It's further recommended the trustees approve a one-time off-schedule compensation payment of 1.5%, which will be paid no earlier than February 28th.
Are there any questions from the board? From the public? On behalf of the board, I would like to thank everybody for their fine efforts and work. This is such an important item. We want to do the best we can for our students and our teachers especially. Could I have a motion to
I second.
move by Mr. Shields, seconded by Ms. Amy?
Mr. Maris, I have a
I'm
couple.
sorry. I thought I heard it. My mistake. Motion made by Mr. Shields, seconded by Ms. Ramirez. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Jackson?
Aye.
Ms. Amy?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Shields? Aye. And Board President votes aye. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next item, item 20, is adoption of resolution. Also, Mr. Moreno.
Okay. I'd like to read a resolution in support of Week of the School Counselor. This is resolution number 17, 2024-2025. Whereas school counselors are employed in the public schools providing a unique contribution in helping students achieve school success, including social emotional supports and plan for a career. Whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors work with our teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. And whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas California Department of Education designates the first full week in February in recognition of the role counselors play in preparing and assisting students to be successful lifelong learners. And whereas February 2nd through the 8th, 2025 is recognized as National School Counseling Week. And now therefore be it resolved that the Turlock Unified School District Board of Trustees does hereby support and proclaims February 2nd through the 8th, 2025 as School Counselors Week, and urges all parents and community members to join in celebrating appropriate events and recognizing the counseling staff for their dedication and positive educational impact on our children.
Any comments from the board? From the public? If I could have a motion?
So moved.
I second.
Moved by Ms. Jackson, seconded by Ms. Martinez. Oh, let's see, this is a roll call vote. Ms. Jackson?
Aye.
Ms. Amy?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Shields?
Aye.
And Board President votes aye. Motion carries. I would just like to say, we can't say enough about our counselors. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. Next item is a business services item. This is Mr. Gordon. Item 21.
All right, President Silva, members of the board, Dave, and fellow members of cabinet. Back on November 19th, I brought to the board a request to rename the Julian Ball Field after a longtime coach from Turlock American Little League. At the time, I requested the board authorize administration to identify members of a committee as per our board policy 7310, naming facilities board policy. Our general process is to identify a objective group of committee members to evaluate the request and ultimately provide a recommendation to the school board in order for the school board to take action whether to accept the request and approve a renaming or not. So since the 19th, we have gone through a process to identify members of the community. That there's very specific member requirements in our board policy, which includes members of the school site, members of the community, members of district administration, etc. So the members that we are recommending for this committee is Ms. Henderson, the Julian principal, Shurikina Anhari, a Julian parent, Zivian H., a Julian student, Mr. Mark Corvelli, who's a community member and runs the recreation programs at the city of Turlock, Mr. Brett Sutherly, who's a community member, longtime Turlock resident, retired teacher in TUSD, Brendan Trantham, who's a Julian teacher, and myself as a district representative. Once created, this committee will be an official committee of the board, so all of the appropriate open meeting laws and Brown Act requirements will be shared with the committee members and expected to be followed to make sure that this request is done, this request is evaluated in full view of the public. How the committee members intend on appropriately gathering the input from the community is up to the community members. There's lots of options we can do, whether that's town hall, surveys, articles in the newspaper, those kinds of things. So we will be working with the committee once they're formed to make sure that we solicit solid and honest input from the community. So with that, I recommend the Board of Trustees approve the naming of the Julian Elementary School Baseball Field Advisory Committee members. So if I can get approval for creating that committee, I would appreciate it. Can I answer any questions?
Are there any questions or comments?
I just have a comment. I really appreciate that you have community members, staff, and students at Julian. That is really great.
Absolutely.
Mr. Gordon, do we have any representatives from the youth Little League at all?
You know, my goal is to find somebody from Turlock American Little League who has a license agreement for Julian Field. I really wanted to get somebody on the committee to evaluate it. However, my overriding goal is somebody that can evaluate it objectively. And I could not find a single individual on the Turlock American Little League organization that as soon as I started talking to them, they were full on, yeah, let's do it, let's rename it, right? So I didn't feel it appropriate to include one of them on the evaluation committee. We will absolutely solicit their input in the process.
Awesome, thank you.
I have a question. What are we gonna be naming it?
The request from the community is to rename the field, the Paul Cooper Field. I didn't know Mr. Cooper, well, he's still alive, so I don't know Mr. Cooper personally. My understanding is he was the Turlock American Little League coach for many years and has high accolades. We have a formal request for the naming of the facility that we'll evaluate as a committee, and all that information will be shared with the board when the time is appropriate.
You said you're gonna have a town hall. I'm just nervous because I know lots of my neighbors have been involved with the ball field for a long time, and I have a little bit of hesitation with naming it after one person, just because there have been so many people, both men and women. So I don't know how many women have run that snack bar for years and years and years, or just parents or grandparents. And so I have a little bit of apprehension, but I'm gonna try and talk to some of the people in the community and see what they think.
Yeah, the town hall is just one idea I'll share with the committee. The committee will make their decision on how to, in their opinion, solicit that input. A town hall could be an example of that. Absolutely, and one of the things that I stress with folks whenever I talk to them is, these are perpetual decisions that we make. Once we name a facility, it's almost impossible or unheard of to not, to remove that name. So it has to be taken in a solid, transparent, thorough process. And absolutely, if there are people that are not in favor of that request, they certainly should come forward as well.
It's not so much that they're not in favor, but I think there's a ample group of men and women that could, does that make sense? There's been so many people have been involved in that project.
Yeah, and we've had this before with other requests, as soon as you say this, then you get other ideas, but, ultimately, we evaluate the requests that the community has brought forward to administration, which is what we intend to do.
Thank you, I'm glad we have this process.
Any input from the community? I can have a motion? So moved.
I second.
Moved by Mr. Shields, seconded by Ms. Ramirez. I got a mental block. Moved by Mr. Shields, seconded by Ms. Martinez. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Jackson?
Aye.
Ms. Amy?
Aye.
Ms. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. Ramirez?
Aye.
Mr. Shields?
Aye.
The board president votes aye, motion carries. Thank you for your input, Mr. Gordon. Next is Mr. Laddie, on item 22.
Thank you, President Silva. So you'll see in the backup, we have a number of committees on which our board members serve on annually. We have a couple of vacancies that we need to fill for this school year, this calendar year. So we have the Head Start State Preschool Committee, we have a vacancy, we need one board member on that committee, and we have the Wellness Committee. I thought I'd share this very briefly, the time commitment and where they meet and what they do. The state preschool program regulations require an annual self-evaluation, and this process requires the participation of a board member. They conduct a file review of the program. This does require one meeting, hour to an hour and a half long. Our fearless leader of early childhood ed, Judy Huerta, who's in the back here, is willing to schedule time that works for you to do this file review. And so, like I said, it's one time, usually in May, about an hour to an hour and a half. The Wellness Committee is held quarterly throughout the school year on Wednesday afternoons. And it reviews the student wellness program, including activities and then promoting good nutrition, healthy living, physical fitness, and a positive self-image. So a little bit more time commitment on the Wellness Committee. So, Mr. President, we can open for discussion to see if there's any interest, and then somebody could make a motion to fill those vacancies.
Are there any questions or comments first? We'll start with the Head Start Committee. Is there any interest from the board?
Patty said she would like to do it. Patrick, do you want to do it? Okay, so Patty, can I motion both vacancies? Patty, Amy to be the head school representative for the state preschool committee, and then Debbie Martinez would be interested in doing the wellness committee.
Okay, any other nominations?
Do you have?
Any other
I have
interest?
I don't think we have any.
We're good?
Does that work? Sorry, I didn't have my microphone. So Patty Amy for Head Start and then David Martinez for Wellness. Motion.
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Jackson, seconded by Mr. Shields. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Board President votes aye. Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Next is board reports. So, Ms. Jackson.
I will be quick. I would like to echo the sentiments of Dave Laddick. If you have not seen any of our music or drama performances or an art show, you're missing out. First of all, they're relatively inexpensive, if not free, most of them, and our students are just doing a phenomenal job. So kudos to all of the teachers, staff, the parents who build these. The sets just get better and better every year, it seems like. And so it's wonderful to go see and watch, and it was wonderful. As well as I'm gonna try and hit some of the Turlock Pittman games, kind of do a two for this week. Because I know there's basketball tomorrow night and there's soccer Thursday. So good luck to all of our winter sports.
I attended also the junior musical. It was amazing. I was so impressed with the collaboration that went with the performers, junior hires, and then the high school students there being part of the crew and even helping with choreography. I thought, wow, this is really great. We got the middle school with the high schoolers working together to put on an awesome performance. It was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, I helped out once again with the food distribution. I enjoy working with the on-track students. They're just so fun to work with. And I also attended a Browns Act training. We did that. And I also attended several Martin Luther King events in the last 3 days. So, other than that, that's it.
So on the 9th, I had an opportunity to join the LCAP meeting with representatives from each school site and partners in education with administrators, teachers, partner parents, and also with board member Debbie Martinez. It was a great meeting of the minds, looking at the budget and the program needs for improving student achievement. One item that did come up from a parent was looking at science curriculum. There is a plan in the future to meet science achievements for our students. There is a math focus that will be continuing to work with teachers to continue student progress. Marjorie Betancourt did a wonderful job with the presentation of all of the departments. Gil Ogden and Alice Solis each gave equal attention to ESL and student attendance. If you miss out, you miss school, you miss out. We used to say, if you miss school, you miss the tea, because you don't know what's gonna happen. On the 13th, we had a special school board meeting regarding the Brown Act and the regulations of the do's and the don'ts. That was really enlightening for me. One item is if someone comes up to speak a public session that's not on the agenda, we as board members are not allowed to speak on that. Newsflash, that was new for me. On the 16th, I had the privilege of joining the district team that consists of Alice Solis, Angelica Cardenas Ayala, John Aka, thank you, interim Superintendent Dave Laddick, as well as Dr. Klein for the Turlock High School with the tour. We visited science and ag science classes. We also visited medical practice labs to prepare students for a career in the medical field. I had a wonderful opportunity to meet former Chatham Warriors and scholars from Chatham and Mountview. It felt like a homecoming to me. We also visited Dutcher Middle School, the music, math, and science classes with the district team, along with Principal Mr. Ruiz, and of course our AP Mr. Vangos, is that how you pronounce it, giving us a personal guided tour. I also attended the Dutcher Middle School musical, Matilda Jr. It was great performances, extremely talented students on stage and behind the scenes. The sound and the stage crew did an amazing, flawless job keeping things on cue. I look forward to visiting more school sites and events this end of it.
All right, well, last week I was kind of informed or made aware of some very concerning things coming out from the state Supreme Court regarding a violent predator that is possibly going to be released into our community. I made a statement on my own, not as a board member, but it's the safety of our children is so extremely important. And I stand very, very firmly with Senator Juan Alanis in his statement regarding this decision. It's something that affects all of us as board members on a school and dealing with children and their safety, but also the area that I represent specifically. And so it's something that's very, very concerning. I hope that the parents and the community members who live in this area are making their voices heard and are saying something about this, because it is something that the state has continuously done and to the disadvantage of our community and other valley communities. So again, I really just want to echo some of them. Juan Alanis' statement and just saying, I'm paying attention, I'm listening, I'm watching. Your voices are not going unheard, but there needs to be some serious changes on what's going on, because the safety of our children is the absolute #1 priority. So again, that's just something I think that the board needs to be aware of, moving forward, something that affects our students and our community as a whole. So, but thank you guys so much, and I'll end my report.
I just want to say I was so proud of our board, especially with all the new members on our governance workshop, the Brown Act, and I think it was very productive and we all learned quite a bit. Even the old timers.
You don't want to use the word old.
More experienced.
There we go.
I want to commend our board for that.
Thank you.
If I can have a motion to adjourn.
So good.
Second.
Now, who said that? Okay. Move on, then, okay.